14 handicap, looking to improve ball striking and limit the dispersion on the pulls and fades. Now looking at the swing, it's a pretty athletic move with a little bit of scoop or flip in those hands back through your impact area. So looking at the down the line view, we can see clearly that it is a 10 finger position, and that can cause a lot of casting or throwing of that club through the impact area. There also is an open club face bias through your backswing, which can trigger this release as well, but the effort to try to drive your lower body and almost hold off that finish is you trying to not to snap the wrist over or hit that pull hook. So you don't really get the freedom of release, and there's a few reasons for that. One, your initial move after the forward press is to sway a couple inches off the ball. Now, a tiny bit of sway is okay, but when you sway this much, the lead knee works down and in too much, and the weight or pressure gets to the outstep of your trail foot, and that is too far to the outstep, which does not allow you to get much push or drive. Now, you're finding a way to get your weight back to centered, but after you shift forward of your starting position, you do begin to slide on your toe and get that right knee to kick in a little bit too far forward. So trying to keep the pressure on the instep of the heel will promote a better drive and a more consistent low point that can get more in front of the ball. But the amount of lateral slide that you have to do because you've swayed off the ball is just too much, and if you were to tighten up your turns in the takeaway, just meaning get that line here and try to pivot your hips instead of slide them back, you'll get a lot more consistent with that low point compressing down on the back of the ball. But enough on that face-on view, let's take a quick look from down the line. Not a whole lot to change here necessarily. Camera's a bit off, spine and posture angle is okay, although the butt could be pushed back slightly. Takeaway begins a little inside and a little bit open with that face, like we had seen from the face on. When you need to flip it, you do tend to have more of an open face that needs to be closed. But there's that split finger, 10 finger grip. Continuing up to the top, decent turns in depth with a flexed trail knee, and then your transition loops a little bit but does keep the club path inside. Your hand path works a bit away, and then you just are forced to release that club face to try to close or square it up. So overall, not a ton of mechanical changes. I think it's mostly from the face on. Check your grip and try not to sway as your first move off the ball. Good luck. Sendaswing.com.